we're going to sort of make a paste. Whisk it in real good. Let that cook. Now when it starts boiling, which it's already doing, we're going to go ahead and add the sugars. White sugar, brown sugar, and my allspice, and water. Okay, so I'm going to turn this down to medium and then wait for it to boil. Okay, so while we are waiting for the filling to boil, I'm going to start working on the lattice work. So let's take out the dough. It's very sticky, so let's make sure it's nice and floured. I floured my surface. Just don't want it to stick. And we're going to roll it out to another round, just as we would do with the crust. From the center out in all directions. Hi. Okay, so now that our filling has cooked, it's been cooking on simmer for about 3 minutes, and it's nice and thick. And while this was cooking, I flattened out the dough for the lattice work. So before I go ahead and cut those, I'm just going to go very carefully pour the filling right over the apples. See how beautiful that looks? And the filling will, you don't have to worry about it being even with the apples because it'll fall down. Alrighty. I have a pie crust slicer. If you don't have one at home, it's not a big deal. You can just use a knife. Or you could use a pizza cutter, pizza slicer. You want them to be in a width of about 1 inch. So nice and straight. A lattice work that isn't the traditional weaving, but it's also not the easiest, where it's one side going in one direction and then just the other direction laying right on top. I don't think that looks very good, so this one is a little bit in between. You're going to start with the outer edge. Going in one direction, and then we're going to skip where you would put the next one. So let's go ahead and skip that. leaving space for the next side. Okay. Do about 4 going in on the first run, and then I'll do 3. Actually, I'm going to use this one right here. So in my mind I have one right here, and then I'm doing the second one. And then I have the center one. And then I have another little one. Okay. Now in this next direction, I'm going to do my 3. 1. Run out of dough, but that's actually okay. I'm going to go ahead and use the extras I have left over. So we would cut. Okay. So we're just going to work this last piece of dough. And I only need 3 strips, so I'm going to lay them down, and it has the impression that it really is actually weaved, and especially by the time it's baked, so it still looks really good without having to weave it. I should show that in another video though. Hi, okay, so now that we have our lattice work done on the pie, and I just crimped the edges with some extra dough, we're going to brush some melted butter on the crust. Now, the melted butter isn't actually for the look of the finished product, it's just for the taste. It tastes a lot better. Then, about 15 minutes before the pie is done in the oven, we're going to take the pie out and we're going to brush it with an egg wash, and then we're going to sprinkle some granulated sugar on top of that, and that is going to give it its finished product look. Place it in and set the timer for 15 minutes. Right in the center. So the pie is cooking for 15 minutes at 425 on the middle rack. I've placed another pan underneath the pie on the bottom rack so it catches the drippings from the pie. After 15 minutes, we're going to lower the temperature down to 350 degrees, where it's going to be cooking at that for the remainder 35 to 45 minutes. Okay, so we have about 15 minutes on the clock before this pie is finished, and I'm going to show you how to put together an egg wash. There are many different variations of egg washes. You can do an egg white with water. You can simply just beat a little egg white. You can do egg white with milk. You can do yolk with water. I prefer to do an egg yolk with cream. Milk would be fine too. So I happen to have some cream in the fridge. I'm just going to go ahead and use that. It's about 50-50. So you're going to put enough cream. As much egg as you have in the bowl is as much cream as you're going to put, or milk. Then you just stir it up. I figure if you're going to take the time to make an apple pie, you want to just take a few more minutes to add these finishing touches. It makes a really big difference. I'm going to take the pie